Good evening and welcome back to the Arsenal chat room live. I don't know what to call this anymore because it's not the Arsenal transfer room. So, first things first, suggestions in the comments. What should we call this? This is going to be like, if I can, when I can, daily Arsenal roundup chat, whatever it may be. So, come up with some names. What do I normally say after that? Subscribe, like, and now a new one to add to the list of things for you to do, hype. I don't know what it means. Nid is insistent that I ask you to hype the stream somewhere down below. So if you could hype it for Arsenal's win against Newcastle United yesterday, please. Then please do that. But we're going to talk about yesterday's game. We're going to talk about the fallout from the game, the controversy of the game, of course, and where we move going forwards. It's an easier run of games coming up after this, although is it as easy as people are making out? I'm not so sure. So we're going to talk about that as well. But there's loads of you here, which we love to see. I do appreciate that the consistency on the channel has been poor. For the last month, since I went on holiday, it has been poor. And I apologise, but we are now back. Umer, Vivi, Vlad, Cy Walder. Who else is here? Philip Jakobsen, Emil, good to see you. Pekka, Nathan, Joe the Bro, Mohammed, Carter, Ben Williamson, good to see you. Fishy Boopkin, Leo Nesbitt, you'll love to see it. Stefan has gifted a membership. Stefan is still here. We love to see it. Stefan, thank you very, very much. Whoever's just been gifted that membership by Stefan, please do make sure to thank him in the chat. It was Philip Jakobsen. There you go. You'll love to see it. And, of course, anyone that does want to become a member of the channel, it does massively help me out. It allows me to do this full time, which is insane, and it goes back into the channel. So I do appreciate it. Please tell me you've seen the media narrative about Arteta not trusting his starting 11 because he's always standing up. I haven't seen that. I mean, what are we doing now? Arteta doesn't trust his starting 11 because he's always standing up. But you know what they're also doing at the exact same time? This is where they get you, right? The exact same media doing that. And I've not seen it, but I'll take your word for it. They're hammering Ruben Amorim because he's always sat down in his chair like this, which I do think looks bad. I think if you look to the bench and you see your manager with his head, he keeps covering his ears like he can't even bear to hear what's happening. Look, they've got to come at Arteta with something, you know? Handbrake's off now, so they can't accuse the handbrake of being on. Mentality was there. You know, what else can they come at him with? By the way, if you're watching on TikTok, we are live on YouTube. Link is in the bio to that. I appreciate it. That's where we are always reading the chat. Hi, Rory. Hannah here. Love your channel. And what a result yesterday. Come on, you Gunners. Bananas. You love to see it. Or Hannah. Breaking news. Man manages football team. Yeah, this is where we're at. How dare he manage the football team? You know? Yildiz links are BS as much as we wish it could happen. Yeah, I did see links to Yildiz the other day, but a pipe dream as of now. Nid, thank you very, very much for gifting a membership as well. If you've just been gifted by Nid, the absolute legend, please do make sure to thank him in the chat. Nid, what a goat. Can you talk about Gabriel's punch on Vultamada? If you think that's a punch, I hope you never actually get punched because that might shock you. Look, I don't think there's enough in it for a red card. I think it's probably a yellow card. I would say though, the difficulty with it is because the referee doesn't see it. VAR has to intervene. VAR's never upgrading that to a red out of nowhere. Also, Bruno G elbowed Jorginho in the back of the head far more violently than what Gabriel did. And we were told that wasn't a red card. VAR, and I quote, said he didn't use his elbow as a weapon against Jorginho. So, you know, I struggle to sympathise. Given the Jorginho one. Also, plenty of other ones. Last season, Van Dijk kicking out at Kai Havertz, nothing was done. You know, there are loads of them. I mean, Mosquera, not our Mosquera, the other Mosquera, put his finger somewhere he shouldn't have done with Gabriel Jesus. So, and nothing was even done about that. So, you know, Stefan has become a member himself. There we go. Stefan has become a member. He's been gifting so many. I'm glad that he's given one to himself. So, Stefan, I appreciate it. You're an absolute legend of the channel. Just a shove. That's nowhere near close to a red. It's barely a... He goes to push him away. Right? And it's not a punch. It's just not a punch. Like, it is what it is. That Mosquera was out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Havertz's throat got grabbed again. Same game, same player. So yeah, I struggle to sympathize. I struggle to sympathize with Newcastle United when it comes to any of that sort of thing, because they are the team that do that. And when they do it, when Joel Linton does that sort of thing, they love it. Joel Linton came on and clattered Max Dowman in a friendly, and they're all, oh, Big Joe, don't mess with Big Joe. So I struggle to sympathize with that one. How can I buy a membership? It's down below. If you go down below, I think it says join the channel, something along those lines. I do think it's a red if Ultimata makes a meal of it. Very possibly a red if Ultimata makes a meal of it, but he didn't. So yeah, it is what it is. I didn't think that was a red card. I mean, to be honest, I thought that was the least controversial of all of the things. Now, I mean, let's talk about this penalty, right? This came out today. I find this is the worst part of it for me. Never mind the fact that the penalty should have been awarded. Never mind the fact that you go back and listen to Howard Webb talking about the João Pedro Saliba one, and the wording is identical. The way that Howard Webb justifies the João Pedro and Saliba one literally applies perfectly to this one, and yet they overturn it. This, I think, is the biggest problem, right? So this came from the American broadcast of the game, whatever it is, NBC or whatever it is that shows it in America, right? The commentators on there, the commentators can always hear the VAR conversation that's happening, right? We know that. We can't hear it, but they can. The commentators, during the VAR check, when Jared Gillett is at the monitor, they said this: we can hear the VAR talking to the referee, and he's having to really explain it time and time again to Jared Gillett. You can kind of tell here, VAR is trying to guide Jared Gillett. That is absurd. That is not VAR protocol. That is the opposite of VAR protocol. VAR is supposed to be, never mind the high bar, clear and obvious, not re-refereeing the game part of it. Once the referee goes to the monitor, it is meant to be up to him to re-watch his decision and change his mind. Jared Gillett stands there for the first 30 seconds, isn't changing his mind. Darren England on VAR starts having to try and convince him to change his mind. Literally, as they said, you can tell VAR is trying to guide Jared Gillett. That's re-refereeing the game, and that is the VAR refereeing the game, not the on-field referee. It is the complete opposite of what Howard Webb insists VAR is. And that's a massive problem, because we were sold. This isn't just an Arsenal problem. This is a football fan problem. Football fans were sold on VAR being this thing that would only overturn the blatantly obvious incorrect decisions, and it would still be up to the referee. None of those things happened. The fact it takes him a minute of watching it, and he has to have another person telling him, no, see, look, there's a touch on the ball. In his head, he's probably going, well, I know there's a touch on the ball, but Howard Webb told me that a touch on the ball doesn't negate a penalty. I think it's incredible. I really do. But Saliba didn't hit the ball hit Saliba. Exactly that. Howard Webb, the ball hit Saliba. The ball, what did he say? João Pedro was going to regain possession of the ball. He was in control of it. It's all nonsense, right? It's all nonsense. And this is the problem. Because Howard Webb and Dermot Gallagher, because they go on these shows where they want to be celebrities, right? That's what it actually is. Because they justify or attempt to justify the unjustifiable, there are always going to be these ones that then come back and make them look absolutely ridiculous. And this is a great example. Because if the João Pedro Saliba one had been overturned, which it should have been, because Saliba won the ball and it came off the top of Saliba's head, if they'd overturned that one, instead of trying to justify it, I could maybe have sympathized yesterday. But they didn't. They doubled down on it. And they said that it makes no difference that Saliba touched the ball. Well, then it makes no difference that Nick Pope touched the ball. What was the thing about it hitting Gabriel's shin? So that was the handball that they wanted, right? And ultimately, that's just a letter of the law thing. Like, it doesn't matter what your actual opinion is. It hits his shin on the way to hitting his arm. The rules now, and they have changed recently, but the current rule as it stands in its current form is that if the ball hits the defender and then hits their arm in any way, shape, or form, no matter where their arm is, it's not a penalty. If it deflects off one body part that isn't a handball into their arm or their hand, they cannot give a penalty, plain and simply. And also, Jared Gillett didn't give it on field as well. So again, you're talking about a high bar, clear and obvious. So that's it. Like that's the rules. And then if, by the way, if you do want to talk about that handball, Bruno G's handball is far more of an actual handball. His arm is away from his body. It's out here. It's a shot on target. It hits his hand out here. Look at the Tarkowski one that was given this season. So there's just as much argument that Bruno G. I don't even think VAR looked at the Bruno G one. And it's in none of the highlight packages. Like Match of the Day didn't even show it. So, yeah, I think it's a big problem. What about Pope punching Saliba after the Gabby goal? That's fine, I'm guessing. Yeah, I've seen that. If you haven't seen it, watch it back. Pope attempts to sort of swing a little fist at Saliba when our second goal goes in. O'Malley, thank you very, very much for the $9.99. 3 bogey games in a row. Newcastle away, Olympiacos at home. Is that bogey or bougie? What do you mean there? Anyway, Newcastle away, Olympiacos at home, West Ham at home. Oh, no, you did mean bogey, yeah. Lost the last 2 previous times we played the fixtures. 1 down, 2 to go. These are the games that hurt us over the last 2 years. Yeah, look, I'm expecting us to beat Olympiacos and West Ham. Like, factually, we should be beating them, undoubtedly. So, you're right. You know, it's a test. I mean, the Newcastle one for me was the big one. That was a big... Winning that game the way we did, I think that answered a lot of questions about this squad. But O'Malley, thank you very, very much for the $9.99. Tom has been a member for 6 months. Half a year, Tom. Go on, son. That's the kind of win that could really set our season up for success. Can't wait to see what's next to come. I agree. And thank you very, very much for being a member for 6 months. That's incredible. Yeah, I think that win and the way that we did it. You know, the thing is, right, we deserve to win that game comfortably. We should have been... Before we conceded that goal, we should have been 3-0 up. I say should have been. Nick Pope has the game of his life. The penalty shouldn't have been overturned. Trossard should score at the near post. He shouldn't even score at the near post. I think he should go across Nick Pope, but he should score that goal. Either way, we could have been 3-0 up. We concede that ridiculous goal. And when I say ridiculous, I mean, you know, Mosquera's mistake. It is what it is, by the way. I've seen people grilling Mosquera. Like, it is what it is. He makes a little bit of a mistake. It was his only real mistake of the half. You know, it's going to happen. He's young. He'll learn from it. And then the defending was poor from the corner, from the short corner. I think Saka and Gyokeres were both a little bit slow to react to it. And then Gabriel gets caught underneath it. I don't think Gabriel was like diving for the free kick because he was being soft. I think he knows as soon as that ball is coming in, I think Gabriel knows he's got it wrong. I think he knows he's caught underneath it. He knows he's not going to get back in time. And so the second he feels it on his back, he goes down in the like blind hope that he's going to get a free kick from it. It's not a foul. It's never going to be a foul. But to fight back then from 1-0 down, in some ways, I think it could do us even more. It could benefit us even more from a mentality perspective. Knowing that they can do that this season, it's a really big thing. If Howard Webb were preferably not bold, what changes? If you were Howard Webb, preferably not bold, what changes would you implement? I'd really look at scrapping VAR at this point. To be honest, I'd leave it for offsides. But outside of that, I'm just not sure we're benefiting. I'm not. For what we lose with VAR, I'm not sure we gain enough. You know, if these long delays came with accurate decisions, I'd be okay with it. But in one weekend, you're looking at the Mbuemo red card. Oh my God, by the way, Dermot Gallagher this morning, right? Collins should have got a red card. This is slightly off tangent from Arsenal. Collins should have got a red card against Man United. He pulls back Mbuemo. By every single part of the law, that's a red card. Undoubtedly. Doesn't get a red card after 2 minutes of VAR looking at it. Dermot Gallagher today on his little show, he goes, but he did actually agree it should have been a red card. But then he goes, well, you know, I think the VAR is trying to look at it in a positive way. Sorry? A positive way for who? You got a positive way for Brentford? Sure. Not a positive way for Man U. Now, don't get me wrong. Delighted Man U lost. Hilarious. How can a VAR look at it in a positive way when the positive way only benefits one team? That's not positive. Like, they've lost the plot. They've actually lost the plot. And it's making it really difficult to watch and enjoy football. I saw Malo Gusto kick Minter in the head inside the box, not even a penalty. It's madness. It's madness. Beck Gummer, thank you very, very much for the $4.99. I feel like Arsenal fans have been so hard on Mikel Merino, but then he scores an equaliser and we act like he's the second coming. Thoughts? I agree. I think people have been really harsh on Mikel Merino. I think they misunderstand Mikel Merino's role in the squad. I think when the media and rival fans insist on calling him a defensive midfielder, it confuses Arsenal fans into thinking that's what he is when he's not. And we had it yesterday. You know, in the watch-along on Big Up, people were complaining when Mikel Merino came on and saying, you know, it's Arteta, he's not creative, we're chasing the win. Like, we put Mikel Merino on to score goals. We knew that with 20 minutes to go, we were going to have to start relying on putting the ball into the box and hoping we could make something of it. And Mikel Merino steps up in big moments. Like, he's had a lot of big moments for someone that's been at the club for just over a year. So, big fan of him. And again, I think people need to judge what they're seeing, not what the media are telling them they're seeing, not what rival fans are telling them they're seeing, because I think there's a big difference. I actually don't think we approached the game against Newcastle particularly differently to the way we approached the game against Man City. The way we started against Newcastle, the way we forced them in, controlled the game, we did that against City. We did it with Merino in midfield, sure, and Eze is more creative, and Eze is more likely to score those opportunities from the edge of the box, whatever, but the intent was still press them in, control the game in their final third, and you'll score. So, yeah, there's a lot of that sort of thing, I think, at the moment. A lot of really reactionary, results-based analysis that doesn't make a huge amount of sense. Daniel, thank you very, very much for the £2, not mentioning that Gabriel should have been sent off. We did, actually, Daniel. We literally did mention that at the start of the stream. It was the first thing we addressed. And in my opinion, I don't think it's enough for a sending off. You know, if I look at Bruno G elbowing the back of Jorginho's head, so many examples. He's not gone to punch him, right? It's not a punch. He's kind of pushed him away slightly in the face. I mean, by the way, the same game, Jamal Lascelles nearly rips Gyokeres' face off. So, you know, if that's a red card on Gabriel, I want a red card when Gyokeres' face is being pulled off. It's, you know, I don't think it's a red card. I don't think it's a red card. Stefan, thank you for gifting another membership. Stefan, the absolute legend. If you've just been gifted by Stefan, please do make sure. It's Ryan Henderson. It is Ryan Henderson that has been gifted. You'll love to see it. And Nid said there, we are less than 50 subscribers away from 24,000 subscribers. So if you could subscribe, if you're not already, and get us over that mark, I would be massively grateful. Should have, not should have. You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely should have, not should have. Did I say should have? I should have said should have. My mother would not be impressed. Merino's a box-crashing midfielder, high final third, aggressive dual winner, and a big impact player. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And look, would I play him in a midfield three with Zubimendi and Declan Rice? No, not ideally. I don't like it because I don't think it's creative enough. Does that mean that when we do it, it's hyper-defensive? No, it's not. It's a way of controlling the game. But it is what it is. Ideally, we won't have to see that in the future. I think yesterday was a really good day for Eze. I think he'll have really benefited from it. I think one thing I think should come out of yesterday's game really well is Mikel Arteta seeing Trossard kind of playing free roam. Trossard was not a left winger yesterday. He was given a lot of freedom to move in centrally, to link up with Eze and Gyokeres. And if Trossard can do that, Eze can do that. And if Eze can play in the 10, which he did yesterday, Odegaard can play as a 10. Because yesterday, right, Eze did not play like Odegaard does, positionally. It was far more Zubimendi, Rice, Eze, kind of centrally, but kind of given free roam. But you saw Eze popping up on the left, on the right, out of possession, drifted into the middle. Let Odegaard do that. Let Odegaard do that. Give Eze the freedom as well. Then you've got Saka, you've got Gyokeres. That I like. That I really like. And I hope Arteta liked it yesterday. Because I think it was one of our best games of the season yesterday. The way we actually played, yeah, it was a shame in a way we needed that last minute winner, but we were good. We were really good. We've not played like that at St. James's Park either. And I think Arteta has learned. Arteta didn't go physical yesterday. Arteta didn't go, if Arteta every year previously, I think, starts Mikel Merino in midfield again yesterday because it's physical. But he didn't. He started Trossard, who's probably the least physical player we've got, and he let Eze play in midfield because he relied on the fact that technically we are better than Newcastle. He relied on the fact we'd be able to outplay them, and largely we did. Was there any reason that Nwaneri wasn't included in the squad, or was it just random? Yeah, I mean, it was random in the sense that it wasn't because of an injury or anything. It's just, this is where we're at with the squad right now. I think I tweeted this yesterday, people were complaining that it's not fair on Nwaneri. I mean, in the end, Dalman didn't come on anyway, but this is where we're at. Look at the bench yesterday. The only argument you could make is maybe Nwaneri should be there instead of Dalman. But if Arteta wanted someone to come on the right-hand side, maybe he prefers Dalman there right now. And he's looking at it going, well, okay, I've got Eze starting. I've got Odegaard to come on for Eze. Do I need Nwaneri? And that's a tough one to take for Nwaneri, right? But Norgard has missed games this season where he's just not been selected. Hincapié the same. Once Havertz and Madueke come back, you're going to see Trossard, Martinelli missing out on matchday squads. This is just where we're at with how stacked the squad is right now. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. It really is. And there's every chance, by the way, that I don't think Nwaneri will start against Olympiacos, but I think he'll be back on the bench against Olympiacos. It's all good. It's all good. Do you think Odegaard and Eze can play together in midfield? Yeah, in certain games I do, Dion, yeah. I think not a game like yesterday. I wouldn't want to go into a game like yesterday and just have Rice, Eze, Odegaard in midfield. But I think, you look at some of the easier games. I mean, West Ham have zero midfield presence, as an example, right? You could, if you wanted to, I think, play against West Ham with Rice, Eze, Odegaard. Definitely. Will we see it much? I don't think so, because I really like Zubimendi, and I think Arteta does. And you definitely have more control with Zubimendi and Rice. But actually, what I want to see Zubimendi and Rice as the pivot, Odegaard centrally ahead of them, allowed to free roam, Eze kind of off the left, but again, allowed to free roam, Saka, Gyokeres. That's what I want to see. I do want to see Eze and Odegaard playing a lot together, though. And I think that's how we're going to get the most out of Victor Gyokeres as well. For the pen, drop ball things, can't it not be a drop ball because it's in the box? Well, I mean, this is nothing. Jared Gillett, right, overturns his decision, and he literally says, play will resume with a drop ball. And then he just rolls it to Pope. Even though when he stopped the game, Saka had the ball in their box. And Pope was on the floor. So, yeah. It was crazy. Arteta got it bang on yesterday. Yeah, he did. I thought the starting lineup was pretty much bang on. I thought the subs were bang on. Again, when we got the equaliser, and then he brought on Miles Lewis-Skelly, people going, why is he bringing on a defender? We're chasing a win still. Where's the mentality to go after the win? When he brought Miles Lewis-Skelly on, we were all over the place. Defensively, we had no structure. We had Timber, Saliba, Gabriel. We had taken off Zubimendi. So we had one defensive midfielder, 3 defenders, and that was it. Bought on Miles Lewis-Skelly. We looked a lot better again, if anything. It re-established our structure. Miles Lewis-Skelly looked good. So, yeah, I thought Arteta got it bang on yesterday. And, he talks about his finishers. Arteta talks about having his finishers. 4 games in a row, he's brought someone off the bench and they've scored. That's big. That's a big weapon. Part of that is because of the depth of the squad that we've got. But, yeah, it's good. Opinions on Gyokeres' performance? I thought it was very good, one of his best. Yeah, me too. It's been weird. I've seen some criticism of Gyokeres today when I thought he put in a really good performance. It's a massive battle. I don't think people appreciate, you've got Botman and Thiaw, or however you pronounce it, all game, 90 minutes, roughing him up. He's got no real support alongside him until Merino came on in terms of physical support. You know, and another day, by the way, he steps up and takes the penalty that he's just won, and he comes away with a goal. So, no, I was happy with him yesterday. I think he's getting better. Thought the link-up play for the Trossard chance, the link-up between him and Saka in the build-up to that was really good. So, yeah. Bet Gummer, another $4.99. Thank you very, very much for that one. To be honest, I'm not super happy with Nwaneri not being trusted to fill the gap with an injured Odegaard. Want to see him getting more minutes. Yeah, that's fair. But then, but Eze played there, right? So, and I do think, if I'm completely honest, I don't think Nwaneri is ready to play in midfield in big games because off the ball, I don't think he's quite there yet. And that is fine. He's 18 years old. He's not really played in midfield in senior football yet. Like, how long did it take Odegaard to adapt to senior football, having been a superstar at 15? You know, it takes a while, and that's cool. What I do want to see is Nwaneri being used more in the easier games where, you know, we're not in as much danger if we lose control in midfield. So, yeah, that's. But I understand. I just think you've got to be patient with it. You know, he's 18 years old. You've seen it at places like City. You know, Rico Lewis had a big breakthrough season and then a season where he featured less. I think Miles Lewis-Skelly will feature less this season than he did last season too. They weren't meant to be used as much as they were last season, and that's fine. Gasfan TV, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And Beck, thank you for the $4.99 again. Much appreciated. Welcome back, our skipper, Martin Odegaard. Yeah, really good cameo. Really good cameo from Martin Odegaard yesterday. When he's given the ability to just free roam and control the play, he's so good. He's so good. That ball through to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Oh, that deserved to end up in a goal because it was delightful. I'd start Nwaneri against Olympiacos. Yeah, I'd be tempted to be fair. I'd be tempted to. Timber, what a player. Yeah, Jordi and Timber, what a game. He was actually, for everything everyone else did, Timber was my man of the match yesterday. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. And do you remember Anthony Gordon doing anything yesterday at all? Because I don't. You know, there's that clip going around where he sits down Joel Linton, then sits down Bruno G. He's so good. He's so good. Are you related to the Chelsea fan on Mo's channel? No, we're not related. We're not related. And I don't think we look that similar, to be honest with you. We're just white and have facial hair. And that's about it. He's actually so good. Yeah, he is. I was buzzing about that pass. That felt like pre-injury Odegaard was back. But again, that pass comes from Odegaard being allowed to the left-hand side. And this is why I think he needs more of that freedom, because those sorts of balls, think about Trossard against Porto. Remember the Trossard goal against Porto? That's an Odegaard ball again. The angles that he has from the left-hand side are really, really good for him. So, yeah, I just want him to be given more freedom. What midfield would you play when Havertz is back? Same midfield. I think our best midfield is still Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard. The question, what happens when Havertz gets back, to be honest with you, is Havertz is maybe used as a sub ahead of Mikel Merino. You know, in the way that Mikel Merino came on yesterday, that's maybe Kai Havertz. Havertz is used as a rotational option for Victor Gyokeres. By the way, don't dismiss how much work. Victor Gyokeres didn't have a proper preseason, and he has been really thrown into the deep end with the amount of work that he's having to get through at the moment. So I commend him for that, because I definitely think we'd have been using Havertz a lot had he been fit. And that's it. It's just more depth. It's more depth. Is Havertz better than Gyokeres in big games? I think he suits our style in big games a little bit more. But then I'm seeing Gyokeres get better, right? Havertz got better once he moved to Arsenal. I'm seeing that with Victor Gyokeres now, so give it time. But I do think, had he been fit, Kai Havertz would have started yesterday. Kai Havertz would have started at Anfield. He would have probably started against Man City. Because right now, Havertz knows how to play those games for Arsenal, and Gyokeres is still figuring it out. Who's ready for Havertz Sorry. Oh, I don't think Havertz starts as a midfielder. Who's ready for Havertz and Gyokeres on at the same time? Me. Gyokeres was very decent yesterday. Yeah, I agree. The thing is, it wasn't just the result yesterday that excited me. It was the performance. The best I've seen us play in over the year in big away games, reminding me of 22-23. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was more happy with the performance than, winning it 2-1. I mean, obviously you get a last minute winner, right? It's absolute limbs. But the performance was what I was really happy with. Gabriel, by the way, what a big game player Gabriel is. And he makes a mistake on their goal, but I made a video today. That is now St. James's Park, Gabriel winner. Anfield, Gabriel put us 1-0 up. We ended up drawing the game 1-1. Stamford Bridge, Gabriel scored a winner. We won the game 1-0. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Gabriel scored. We won the game 1-0. Etihad, Gabriel scored to put us 2-1 up. We drew the game 2-2. Literally, I would argue, other than maybe Old Trafford, the 5 hardest places that we have to go to in the Premier League, Gabriel has now scored a goal to put us ahead at all 5 of those grounds. That's actually mad. Especially when you consider he's scored 21 goals for Arsenal. So that means a quarter of the goals that he has scored for Arsenal have come at the hardest places. I love it. I kind of want Gabby to rest for Olympiacos. Well, I think it'd be interesting because Saliba's still carrying something. So obviously Saliba didn't start yesterday. The ankle injury isn't fully gone away yet. So I think Gabriel will probably just start. Unless Hincapié. But again, Mosquera and Hincapié haven't played together before. I think it'll be Gabriel. I think it'll be a strong team, to be honest. I think he'll be looking at it going, we've got Olympiacos, West Ham, international break. Saliba probably won't go on the international break. They'll probably say that his ankle's still playing up. So, yeah. He equalised for us against Man U in the FA Cup. He did do that as well, yeah. Would you see Martinelli as a number 9 substitute over Havertz if you played Havertz in midfield? Possibly, but it depends on the game, right? This is the beauty of it. How's the game? Is there space in behind? Is there space through the lines? Can you bring both of them on? Havertz as the target man, flicking it onto Martinelli running in behind. There's lots of options. That's what I feel like with the squad at the moment. Solutions. Lots of them. International break. Yep. There's one more Premier League game, then it's another international break. It's a joke. This time next week, we're on the international break. And I can't afford to go on holiday again. So, Timber's the best 1v1 fullback in the world. He's so good. I don't disagree. You just can't get past him. When is Havertz coming back? I believe Havertz is coming back after the November international break. After the November international break, we go straight into 3 games against Spurs, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea. I think Havertz and Madueke should both be back for that, which is good. Timber, Saliba, and Big Gabby. Has the team ever had 300 million defenders? Probably not. And the crazy thing about that, Ross, is Timber, Saliba, and Big Gabby between them cost less than 100 million. That is nuts. The XG philosophy is saying we went from 33% to 44% of winning the league now, and Liverpool from 47 to 35. We're now favourites. Yeah, I saw that. I think it's a joke. I think don't get me wrong. Okay, Arsenal are favourites. Happy days. How can we go from being? How can it go from right? They were saying 2 days ago, they're saying 47% chance of Liverpool winning the league, 33% chance of Arsenal winning the league. 1 game later, 44% chance of Arsenal winning the league, 35% chance of Liverpool winning the league. There's no way it can swing that much on 1 game in game week 6. Now, the issue I had originally was people saying last week, if Arsenal don't beat Newcastle, that's the title race over. With 6 now games in, I feel like this is what I'm saying. I feel like there's so much overreaction at the moment. Even with Chelsea fans are talking about getting rid of Maresca now. We're 6 games into the season. Would you see MLS as a replacement for Norgard in the near future in DM, or would you bring someone in? I would see him as a replacement for Norgard. Yeah, I would. I still think Miles Lewis-Skelly's future's in midfield. I do. Who's your favourite player at Arsenal? Honestly, I couldn't tell you. The current squad, I just think there's so many players in the current squad that are just top in every way, right? I think it's not only that as players, I really like the Arsenal squad. It's that as characters, as people. When was the last time you heard a single negative thing come out of the Arsenal dressing room? You just don't. It just feels like we've got a squad that is properly together. And I look you see, because people question, Saliba wants to go to Madrid. And then you see him sign a 5-year contract. And in the interview with Sky Sports, he mocks the people whose favourite teams were Bayern Munich and Barcelona, Real Madrid. I'm proper. I'm Arsenal. Gabriel, just Rice, Saka, obviously. It's too difficult. It's too difficult. Was loving Hand of Arsenal posting craze after Newcastle win was beautiful. Even though he's deleted half the stuff, it just shows the passion. I love Hand of Arsenal. Hand of Arsenal is the absolute GOAT. I think we will see Hincapié and Kala competing for the left-back spots. Zubi and MLS competing for the CDM spot. I agree. Yeah. And actually, I think it's going to sound mental. I think we're going to buy one more centre-back. I think Hincapié and Calafiori are going to be the left-backs. White and Timber are the right-backs. Mosquera, Saliba, the right centre-backs. Gabriel, and then I think we're going to go and get another left centre-back. I actually do. Would you bring anyone in the January window? Right now, I would actually, obviously you can say, someone said Semenyo, I think, previously. I would love Semenyo at the club, don't get me wrong. But right now, I would say wait until closer to the January window. And if out of nowhere, White and Timber are both injured, maybe get an emergency right back, even though Mosquera can play there. Maybe if we really need it. But yeah, Yildiz again, I'd love. But January window's horrible anyway. I don't think, we've got a stacked squad right now. We've got a stacked squad. Get a youngster, because why not? Yeah, well, I saw us getting linked to some youngsters. Yeah, Jeremy Jacquet was someone we were linked to quite a lot. Yeah, I've seen us being linked to various youngsters that we're scouting at the moment. There was a thing the other day came out about Arsenal's scouts all over Europe at the moment. No problem with that. I'd happily buy one player a season that's just a bit of a... I'd say Mosquera was the one this season, and it's worked out perfectly. I'd happily buy a Mosquera-type player. A 20, 21-year-old that's got experience in a top 5 league already, ideally, if not coming from South America. But they've got some experience, cheap, low wages, see what they can do. There's a defender out of contract next summer from a certain London team we have a great relationship with. There is. And certain things have been said behind closed doors. I will say that. Would you sell Trossard this January to get Semenyo? I mean, look, yeah, sure. It won't happen, though. No one's going to buy Trossard, by the way. We're going to lose him for free. Okay, he's not coming here. We'll see. By the way, I think that injury to Leone has made it less likely that Gahey goes to Liverpool. Because I don't think it will happen. Because I think now Liverpool are going to have to buy a centre-back in January. And I don't think they'll go and drop 40 million on Gahey in January. What have you seen about some changes at the Emirates, adding a few seats? Yeah, it looks like... what's the guy's name? What's the guy that just came in? What's his name? One of the new people that's just come in. Obviously, Tim Lewis is leaving. There was a bit of a boardroom shake-up. One of the guys that's coming in was a key part for the Cronkies or KSE of developing the SoFi Stadium, which is obviously an incredible stadium in America. I can't remember his name. That's going to bug me. Someone's going to have to put his name in the chat. I feel like it was O'Malley or something, but maybe that's wrong. But yeah, he's coming in, and it sounds like, his first sort of big thing is going to be to develop the Emirates. They're not going to be able to make a huge, massive rebuild almost because of the way it was made originally, which really lacked foresight, the way we developed the stadium originally. But yeah, they think they're gonna O'Malley, that was it. O'Malley. It was there. Technically, if you wrote it down, he would be like O'Malley. O'Malley. Anyway, yeah, so that's the guy. But yeah, I do just think it's gonna be a few adjustments to get some extra seats in, a few thousand extra seats. And then I think it's more just like developing it to make it more modernized, stuff like that. Yeah, so that's that. I would prefer if Gahey went to Real Madrid and Konate stays at Liverpool. Yeah, Konate doesn't look good right now. Konate does not look good right now. Their defense, I'm telling you, an injury to Van Dijk, genuinely, the way that would derail Liverpool's season would be massive. Now, I absolutely do not take that as me wanting Van Dijk to get injured, but as just an objective thing. In the way that Rodri's injury hit City, the way that a Saka injury hits us, it would be bad for them. Amorim sacked? I don't think so. I think they're sticking with Amorim for a bit. The problem they've got is that if they get rid of Amorim, the manager market is absolutely abysmal. So, yeah, he's not being sacked. Oh, wow. Anthony Taylor will be in charge of Chelsea versus Liverpool this weekend. Sure, Chelsea fans will enjoy that. Thoughts on a Goumet to Arsenal in January? I doubt we bring in a midfielder in January, to be honest. Given that there have been games where, most games so far, a midfielder has missed out on the matchday squad because there's not enough room. It was Waneri. Before that, it was Norgard. I'd be surprised if we brought in another midfielder. What are your top 5 players in the Prem? Tricky. Haaland, Gabriel, Saka, Saliba. No, I'm just naming Arsenal players. I don't know. It's difficult because do you do that on form or do you do that on their general ability? Mo Salah is a top 5 player in the Prem, but not on form because his form's terrible. Potter's a strong candidate. No chance. No chance. Could you imagine signing? Could you imagine Manchester United bringing in a manager who's just been sacked by West Ham, who were 19th in the table? No way. Haaland's the best in the league right now? Yeah, I would say so. Hey, been a while since we've went live. Good to see you at dinner time. No, we're back now. We're back. Apart from when I'm at games, ideally we'll be live pretty much every day. Obviously, I'll be at the Olympiacos game. But, yeah. Who's the Arsenal ref for West Ham? Not sure. A bit upset about the Madueke injury. Really love how he was looking. Yeah, it's a shame, the Madueke injury. It is a shame for him. The good thing is, Saka's back. I don't think Saka is at his sharpest yet, by the way, which is completely normal and completely fine. But we do have a nice run of games now, I think, to really bring Saka up to full speed within the season. Just hope he doesn't get another injury. But obviously, you've got alternatives to Saka in terms of Dalman and Martinelli and various other players that can still play off the right-hand side. Would you sell Martinelli? I think it's a difficult one. Probably not. Not right now. Stefan, thank you very, very much for another gifted membership. Stefan is just an absolute legend. I really do appreciate it. If you've just been gifted that membership by Stefan, please do make sure to thank him in the chat. Do Arsenal ballots always open at the same time? Yes, they do. Arsenal ballots are always open from 9 or 10 a.m. Can't remember which. Basically, Friday morning until Monday morning. I think it's 9 a.m. It might be 10 a.m. But it's Friday morning until Monday morning every time. There wasn't a ballot this weekend. The next ballot that opens is this coming weekend. So there you go. There you go. Does Dalman get his UCL debut? I'm hoping so. I want to see Max Dalman come on against Olympiacos. He would be the youngest ever Champions League player. And maybe get a goal just to take that record as well. Because why not? What do you mean, who's on the game? Gillett? Yeah, do you know what? The final thing on that, I don't know. Like, no one seems to sympathize with us with that, with the whole Gillett thing. I'm like, it is genuinely mental that an outright Liverpool fan who's not allowed to referee Liverpool games, he's not allowed to referee Everton games because they think the rivalry between Liverpool and Everton could make him biased against Everton, right? The fact that he's been on 4 of our first 6 games, and one of them was the Liverpool game that he's not allowed to be on because he's a Liverpool fan, which means he has been eligible to be involved in 5 Arsenal games this season. He's been involved in 4 of them, 80%. Like, can you imagine? I went and got my refereeing badges, my refereeing license, and in 5 years' time, I'm refereeing in the Premier League. And I'm refereeing Liverpool games when Arsenal and Liverpool are in a title race together. And I'm here going, I don't support Liverpool, so there's no bias. It's fine. Liverpool fans would go mental, rightfully so. If it happened to any club, right? But we're the only ones that are just not allowed to say anything about it and pretend that it's totally normal. So, yeah. Should Martinelli start ahead of Trossard, or should Martinelli be used as a super sub when the defenders are tired? For me, neither of them. For me, with everyone fit and back, I would say it should be Odegaard in midfield, and then Saka, Gyokeres, and Eze. Is how I would go. So, yeah. 100 likes. Let's push for 200. Yeah, if you could click like, if you could subscribe if you're not already, we're on the way. We're less than 50 subscribers away from 24,000. And apparently, if you could click the hype button somewhere down below. That would be fantastic. Nice thumbnail, by the way. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, any ideas? The Arsenal chat room. I'm not sure I'm convinced by the Arsenal chat room. But, like, we had the Arsenal transfer room. Like, the Arsenal newsroom. Is newsroom better than chat room? I feel like chat room just makes me think of, like, Omegle. I don't see a hype button. It's down in the comments, I think. I think the hype button's in the comments somewhere. But, yeah, anyway. Thoughts on Kenan Yildiz to Arsenal? I think Kenan Yildiz to Arsenal was not a legit story, to be honest with you. The Gooner talks, I think that's been taken. The Gooner talk is Tom Canton's thing. Room makes it sound like we're having a Diddy party. No, but room is fine. If it's like newsroom, that doesn't sound like a Diddy party. No, I'm not calling it the Goon Room. I'm not calling it the Goon Room. That is not what we're doing. You can't hype live streams, only videos of past streams. Okay, if you're watching this past tense, please click the hype thing in the comments. Yeah, we are not calling it the Goon Room. And on that bombshell, that is going to be the end of the stream. They will normally be slightly earlier as well. I was just running a bit late today. But yeah, I appreciate you all for watching. And we'll be back tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow. Rory Roundup? Maybe. Oh, quiz. Oh, I haven't got a quiz question ready. I completely forgot. I haven't got a quiz question. I haven't got a quiz question off the top of my head. So, sorry about that. We're going to have to forego that one. Anyway, look, that is going to be the end of the stream. I appreciate you all for watching. If you could like, if you could subscribe, if you're watching back and you can hit the bloody hype button, please do so. And other than that, have a fantastic Monday evening. We'll be back tomorrow. And I'll catch you on that one. Until then, goodbye.